Hi Year 9, my name is Miss Paul, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why you should consider choosing to study geography at GCSE. First reason why you should choose to study geography is because it is absolutely everywhere. It's on the news every day, from war in the Middle East to closing factories in the Midlands, whether we're talking about trade with China, arguments with the European Union, global climate change. The list is absolutely endless. And so geography gives you a real understanding of how the world works. So, my first reason for you choosing to study geography at GCSE is that it is absolutely everywhere. It's an incredibly relevant and up to date subject, and it's on the news every single day, whether we're talking about war in the Middle East, the closing of factories in the Midlands, trade with China, and arguments with the European Union, to global climate change. The list is absolutely endless. Now, geography is going to give you an understanding of how the world really works so that you are ready to help shape our world long after you leave school. It's a subject that really ties together two kind of separate parts of your education. It ties together the scientific, factual, how does the natural world work, with the more social, human stuff, which is about how do humans influence our world and how does our world influence us. Now, what we're saying then is that geographers study the interaction between people and the places they live, they inhabit. And in order to do this, you're going to learn vital skills like map reading, problem solving, and decision making. And you're linking those scientific factors alongside those sociological, economic, and historical reasons for why the world is as it is. So we spend a lot of time explaining how the world is the way it is today, and starting to apply that to future scenarios and to our present day decisions. There's a lot of things around data analysis, around map reading, so you do need to have quite a good mathematical and scientific understanding to do well in geography. So, where can geography take you? Well, employers prize the knowledge and skills that studying geography can provide. It could be knowing about the world, how the world works, planning research and report writing, working in a team, using new technology and communication skills, and so much more. You're going to find geographers working in a wide range of jobs, from the city in terms of finance and banking, to planning, designing sustainable cities, working in the environment in terms of combating climate change, monitoring natural species and endangered species, thinking also about travel and tourism, or in international charities, global organizations like the United Nations, or even our government, and even in retail and shopping, discovering how different people think around the world, what their needs are, and how we can meet those needs. Studying geography early on Studying geography early on is not going to hold you back in any way. You can go on to study law, medicine, economics and finance, any number of scientific disciplines with a foundation in geography. And it's also at A level considered a science subject to support applications into medicine, dentistry, and the rest. So, how will we examine you? What will you be tested on? There is no controlled assessment or coursework for geography. The entire GCSE course is assessed in 3 examinations. However, as part of your GCSE course, there is a compulsory fieldwork element, which is comprised of 2 field trips off the school site, which, although they don't carry marks with them, are an essential requirement of the course. So your exams will be sat at the end of year 11, all 3 of them. And the 3 papers are global geographical issues for an hour and a half, UK geographical issues for another hour and a half, and then people and environmental issues for another hour and 15 minutes. So why do our students love studying geography? Well, one student at Preston Manor says that the teachers are passionate about geography, they're dedicated as well as resourceful, that the lessons that they're getting are organised, structured, and consistently to a high standard. Now we're going to hear from the head girl about why she loves to study geography.
I enjoy studying geography because it teaches me about the world around me, and as someone who's interested in interactions between both the physical world and social world, geography was perfect.
I'm going to take you through the 9 units that we do at Geography GCSE. So the first unit is Hazardous Earth, and in this unit we look at tectonics, volcanoes and earthquakes. We also look, very importantly, at our climate system, including studying how tropical cyclones and hurricanes are formed and how these events impact on human activities. We'll look at development dynamics, so looking at how different countries around the world develop, improving the quality of life for their citizens and for their people, while at the same time dealing with the challenges that come up with this rapid development. We're going to consider the challenges of an urbanizing world. As more and more people live in cities, how does that alter the planet? How does it alter the way we interact within cities with each other? Even if you look at the recent global pandemic, we can see that there is a really significant impact on urban areas of the proximity in which people live to each other and the spread of a disease like COVID. In paper 2, you are looking at the United Kingdom, and so we start off by thinking about the UK's physical landscapes. How have the natural landscapes in the UK been shaped by nature's forces, thinking about rivers and coasts, thinking about geology and rocks, and putting that all together to describe the UK's physical landscape. And then, in contrast, thinking about its human landscape. Where do people live? What kind of jobs do they do? What kinds of things will they be doing in the future? Is it sustainable? Thinking all about the UK and how our economic, historical, and social lives come together. The final exam paper then looks at people and the environment, trying to bring together these two halves of geography. And so the first unit is people and the biosphere, and in fact this is something we are going to study in Year 9, at the very end of Year 9, because it has a huge overlap with the biology GCSE course. So when we study this unit, it's almost the same content as you would do in biology GCSE, and so you'll all be doing this unit as a taster of geography. Forests under threat, and this might be a surprising image when I say the word forest and you can't see any forest here. Well, this was once an enormous amount of forest. It's a location in Canada in an area called Alberta, and this is one example of a threat, a huge threat to the natural environment that exists today, and it's partly driven, or enormously driven, by human desire and need for certain resources. In particular, in this case, this is a site which is producing oil for making petrol, plastics, and other energy sources. And then that leads us neatly into thinking about consuming energy resources, thinking about where does our energy consumption right now globally come from, what is driving that, changes in populations, changes in the economic status of people, improvements in development, but also considering, is it sustainable? Is it possible for us to maintain this high level of resource use? And what alternatives are available to us that we can invest in? And is it going to be enough? Is it going to happen in time to prevent catastrophic climate change? Now, of course, these issues are incredibly significant while you're at school, but also long after you leave school. And so these all form a really key part of why we think you should choose to study geography at GCSE.